this is Jane from the Bead Box in downtown Tecumseh, Michigan. I am going to show you how to make this adorable bird and butterfly bracelet today, so stay tuned. Good evening, this is Jane from the Bead Box in downtown Tecumseh, Michigan. I am going to show you how to put together this adorable springtime bracelet that I designed. First, you are going to need some tools. You will need crimping pliers, chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, and side cutters. Then it is useful if you have a ruler. I like these rulers because they're flexible and you can fit it around your wrist to know exactly what your bracelet size is. I always, when I'm making or constructing a bracelet, I always have one handy so I can measure as I go. So what I'm going to do is just take my sample and show you how I put together my bracelet. I did put, this is a spring that you can put on the end of your beading wire so it'll stop the beads from coming off. So first I put I'm looking to see if it's in focus for you. I put a bicone bead, and then I put, these are called trica beads. I put a trica bead on, and then a smaller rondelle, and then I placed a flat metal spacer, and then I put one of the hibiscus beads on next, followed by a flat spacer. I added another trica bead. And then a bicone. These are all press check glass. And then another flat metal spacer bead. Just like that. That's the pattern so far. And then after that, I put 3 of the green rondelles, so that the largest ones in your kit, together. Without any spacers, I just strung them just like that. So that's what we have so far. And then after that, I did put a flat metal spacer. And it looks like I have a crystal bead next. Sometimes I have a little difficulty finding the hole. And then after that, I didn't put a metal spacer, I just put the small rondelle next. Sorry about the focus. I just have to kind of, there we go, play with it. So that's how it looks so far. And then after that, I'm adding another hibiscus bead. Maybe if I get this out of the way, it'll be better. And then after that, another metal spacer, a crystal, this is what it looks like so far. I love the colors, it's just so pretty. And then you get one of these faceted green crystals, and I put that next. And this is all leading up to the sweet little bird that we're gonna put on your bracelet. And in your kit, you will get one of these spacers. They are a little chunkier than the flat spacer, and I put that next to the crystal. And then I put a smaller crystal a hard time getting those. There we go. And then I put our sweet little bird and that's what we have so far. Now in my kits, you can design it however you want to. If you would like to change it up, feel free. I just added a flat spacer. We're gonna do another crystal. I'm gonna just take it and feed it through since I'm having a harder time finding the hole when I pick it up. And then, let's see here. We are going to get one more bicone. And then a flat spacer bead. And then after that, I put the 3 larger rondelles together with no spacers, just like I had said. So this is what we have so far. If you can see that and it's in focus, it looks like it is. And then after that, I did put a flat spacer. And then the last, let's see, the last trica bead. No, sorry, it was the last crystal. And then your, the hibiscus I put next. Then let's see here. I needed one more flat spacer. And then the trica bead at the end. So I have trica beads on either end. They're so pretty. And that's that. That's what the pattern is. And then what we're going to do next is I am going to put the little stopper over here. And I am going to go and get one of the crimp beads. And then next, I am going to do, they're called horseshoes or wire protectors. And I'm going to put that on. And they are open on either end. And then there is I need to cut that. It's kind of rough at the end there. There we go. They are open on both ends. Sorry, you guys. It can be challenging. So you put it through the hole, and then there's a channel here, and then you put it down on the other side. Like that. And then what we're going to do is take the crimp bead and bring it up to, well, actually what we're going to do first is I am going to get, this is part of the clasp. So I'm going to put that on my wire protector. I'm going to just slip it right on. In your kit, you will have the butterfly attached to this ring. And then what you're going to do is bring the crimp bead with both wires. You feed it through, back through. It has to have both wires in order for it to stay. So if you can see that, there you can, right there. So then what I'm going to do is take my crimping pliers, and I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers. These are from Euro Tools, and there are 2 different sizes. Sorry about that. And I'm going for the first crimping because this is a 2x2, so I'm gonna nest it right in that little groove and then press down, and what it does is it folds your crimp in half. And then I'm going to go, and there is a round area at the very beginning of your plier. You are going to then go in and fold your crimp on top of itself, just like that. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with the focus, but and then after that, I have given you crimp covers. And with my crimp covers, I always show my customers that, well, first of all, I didn't check that. So I checked it, it's good. The crimp is going to hold. And then I am going to do this and just nest it in there. And then I'm gonna take my chain nose pliers, and I am going to gently, not getting the wire protector in there, I'm just gonna gently close it and make sure that the edges have come together. Sometimes you have to just kind of finesse it a little bit. I like that. I'm going to cut this just a little bit so that I can feed this back through my beads, just in case it gets pulled. You have a little bit of extra beading wire there, and your design isn't, or your bracelet's not going to fall apart. So I'm feeding it back through. And then, there we go. And then what you need to do is when you're doing this side, you have to just remember to pay attention to if this end came undone. So I will show you that when we go to crimp this side. I give you plenty of beading wire, so I'm going to cut this off and trim it so I don't have to deal with such a long piece. And then I'm going to put my crimp on first. And then I'm going to put the wire guard on, which might be tricky, or nope. Went much better than the first time. And then I'm going to take it and put it down on the other side so that it's right in that the wire fits really nicely in the channel. And then I'm going to just slide it down, put it in my crimp, and then feed it back through several beads. I'm going to go through the hibiscus, I think, and then. So at this point, I always tell my customers, be very careful. If for some reason there's a lot of resistance over here, just loosen it up. What will happen is if you just go and pull it when there's a lot of resistance, this will ribbon, your beading wire will ribbon, and you will never get it straightened. So just gently pull it, like I'm doing here. And then with a bracelet, you want to make sure that it's still going to bend and lay nicely on your wrist. If I were to cinch this up really tight, I would have a rigid bracelet and it would not go over my wrist very nicely. So this is still very flexible. I don't have a lot of gaps here. I also, when I'm pulling it, I'm paying attention to this stayed, the end stayed in my beads, so I don't have to worry about that side. And then this side, what I need to be concerned about is my crimp cover. So I need to make sure I leave enough room that when I do my crimp cover, it is not going to cover my wire protector. So I always have to take that into consideration when I'm crimping. So you have to make sure you don't have a lot of slack here and that you leave enough room so that depending on the size of your crimp cover, which the one that's in this kit actually is a size 5 millimeters, so they're a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go and crimp it, making sure, I don't know if you saw that, this bowed out, which is the wire. I'm going to make it bow out. So it does that. If you can see that, it will go like that. Don't crimp it when it's like that. Pull it back And then make sure you have enough room and it's still flexible. All these little nuances that you have to do when you're beading. And then just crimp it, check it, making sure that it's good, and then fold it on itself. Sometimes that's tricky. You just have to get, it doesn't help that the crimp is actually black and the plier is black. Okay, so that is secure. Then I'm going to take my crimp cover and nest it in there, making sure that I'm not getting my wire protector, which I'm not. Sometimes I'll just leave it just to stabilize the crimp cover. I'll leave it on the solid surface and then go in and crimp it this way, making sure nothing has, and I do it in stages. I don't do it all at once, because if I do it all at once, the likelihood of me not getting it even, for me, it works this way better. And then the goal is just to have those two ends meet and it look like a nice bead at the end of your bracelet, which it matches that one. So then I'm going to come in and trim this off, making sure you do not cut into your bracelet wire. So I'm going to go in and trim it and make sure that the end is not going to be poking out and poking you. And so that is the bracelet. So what I did is I did not put the lobster clasp on. And the reason why I didn't is I always connect my lobster clasps with a jump ring onto my wire protector after I have done the crimping. The reason why is, let's say that, 6 months down the way, this clasp fails and the spring goes or something like that. All you have to do now, instead of taking the bracelet apart and having to string it all over again, all you have to do is take your pliers and take the jump ring and remove it and then exchange the clasp. So I always tell my customers, put your clasp on with a jump ring as opposed to putting it directly on the wire protector itself. And then that way you'll save yourself stringing it in the future. So then this is how I designed it, is that this is going to go over the big circle that I chose. But I also thought that the butterfly was a little lonely. So what I did in your kit is I put 2 head pins and then extra beads, and these are the 2 charms that I made. You can make however, whatever you would like, or if you just like the butterfly in itself, leave off the charms or maybe put 1 on. You can do whatever you'd like to do. So I'm going to just show you how I use the round nose pliers. And a lot of times what I will tell people is take a magic marker, a black magic marker, and put a line around where you like your loop, how big you would like your loop to be. So because I've been doing this for over 40 years, I know where to put my plier, and then I am going to just take my head pin and wrap it around and come back. And there's a lot of room right there, so what I do is I just tell people to roll it down your circle, roll it down until it meets the bead, and then bring your head pin that's sticking out, bring it perpendicular, and then you have your circle. It's perfect. And then I'm going to do the same. I use that right around there. I'm going to just go around it, bring it over on the other side. There's a lot of dead space there, so I'm going to just roll the loop down to meet my bead, and then bring this and if you were making earrings, you would want to make them simultaneously. So build your earring, do the loop, loop and loop, and then make sure that the loops match before you commit to closing the loop. That's how I make them. And then in order to get your charm onto your oval is I tell people to open it up. So this is what you do. You just open it up a little and you slip it on just like that. And then we're going to just go in and take your pliers from the back and bring the loop together again, just like that. Now I'm going to just hold the loop and move the end of my head pin around. If you would like to make it decorative, you can use more of the wire. It gives you a look of like a bead cap, if you can see that. I am sorry with all the just having a lot of focus issues. There we go. But it looks like a little bead cap. So then I'm going to go in with my side cutters. I am going to go in and I'm going to hold this piece so that if I don't have safety glasses, I don't want this to be being launched in the air and go in my eye or somebody else's eye. So I am holding the end, or what you can do also is you can cover it with this hand as you're cutting it. This little end sticks out a little bit, so all you have to do is just gently squeeze it so it's not gonna catch on anything. Then I'm gonna do the same for this. I'm gonna open it up, just like that. And then I am going to And then it just, a lot of times you can just take your hand and close it, but I like to show you that you can just pinch it closed as well. And then just hold it. If there's not a lot of room, you can go in with your round nose pliers and hold it that way, because these are skinnier. And then I'm gonna I'm not moving anything else. I'm just taking the extra wire from the head pin, the end of the head pin, and wrapping it around. So I like that. And then I am going to cut this. And there you go. You have an adorable bracelet. I did want to show you, I have a bracelet on. I designed a blue bird. I love it. It will be listed. I'm going to show you. I have one that I did. I had to make one for myself. And then this is the sample. But if you can see, they are, this is like a brown wash on the check bird. And then you have some smaller hibiscus. I just love this. I thought it turned out really pretty. Also, I made a few charms, and then I put a lotus flower charm on it as well. So that will be listed on our website, which is thebeadboxrocks.com. And then this video will be on our YouTube channel, which is the Bead Box Rocks. So look that up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be great, because I am going to be doing more videos for you. So thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.